All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to your Friday noon yoga class. I am Lacy Wolf, the coordinator for Statewide Wellbeing Initiative, ERS. I'm so happy to see y'all here. I'm going to try to fix my camera here real quick. See if that will. Can y'all hear okay? Sound is good? Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make my way back to my mat. If you are just joining, I was talking about we're going to do a little bit of quad opening today. If your knees are tender, I recommend finding a strap or a towel or something you can wrap around your foot in order to be able to grab that foot. We'll be doing some things from laying on our belly to while we're actually doing this while we're standing in different ways, working on that today. So let's start in a standing position today. I want to keep our energy up in the beginning, and then we're going to bring it down with some pigeon poses toward the end of class. Just start to shift your weight from one foot to the other. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes while you're doing this, close your eyes. And just start to pay attention to the breath. Maybe syncing your breath as you inhale, shift your weight to one foot. And then as you exhale, sink your weight to your other foot. Moving just side to side. A couple more times. Starting to get out of our heads a little bit. We've been thinking, processing, emailing, talking, doing all these things all morning. Time to just get into your body, pay attention to you, what you need for the next 30 minutes. Go ahead and come back to center. All right, center your feet, or center the weight across both feet. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. And we're gonna start to just move here with breath. Inhaling, raising the arms up. Maybe touching your fingertips, and then exhale, releasing your hands down next to your sides. Take a couple more breaths like that. Inhale and exhale. Slowing that breath down. We don't pay attention to the breath for most of our day, but yoga really gives us an opportunity to pause and notice how we're breathing. And I tell you, the breath will tell you a lot about how you're doing. Go ahead and inhale, raise the arms up. From here, we're gonna just swan dive down, make yourself go ahead and make your way into a forward fold position. Let your head hang heavy. You can crisscross your arms, bend your knees as much as you need to. And just get a nice big stretch through the hamstrings. You've been sitting in a chair, like for me, for a lot of the day, your hamstrings are probably pretty tight because your legs have been bent at that area. I'm gonna try to get our body back to its optimal functioning. Go ahead and reverse your swan dive right back up to standing. And then from here, we're gonna exhale, make our way halfway down, come into cactus arms. Inhale, raise them up. Good, exhale, swan dive down, fold forward. Inhale, bring your hands to the tops of the thighs. We're gonna extend the spine here, come into a back extension. And then exhale, release and fold. Good. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your feet. And then from here, we'll step our right foot to the back of the mat. We'll miss my mat there. Into a high lunge position, and then just drop your knee down to the floor into a low lunge. Bringing your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Go ahead and just heel toe your left foot over to the edge of the mat a little bit. And you can drop down onto your hands and just kind of welcoming this stretch in our hip. All right, let's take a little rotation. We'll bring our left hand to the inside of your left thigh or on top of the left thigh. Turn your gaze up over your left shoulder for a little rotation here. Good, then rise up onto your right knee, extend your left leg. Toes are going to point up toward the ceiling, folding over that front leg into a nice deep hamstring opening. Not too deep, we're just getting started here, so it shouldn't be painful. Take another couple breaths here. And from here, we'll shift all the way back, shifting your weight back onto that front foot. Tuck your back toe under, lift your back knee, and step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Good. Exhale, come down halfway. Cactus your arms, strong through the back. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, we're gonna swan dive back to the mat, fold forward, bring your hands to the outer edges of your feet. Step your left foot to the back of the mat this time, into your high lunge. Strong legs, and then when you're ready, drop your knee to the floor. We're gonna bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot this time and heel toe that right foot to the edge of the mat. We still want our knees pointing toward the front of the room, so keeping that joint alignment. If this feels too deep, you can always lift yourself up onto blocks, books, pillows, whatever you got around you. All right, let's keep our left hand grounded, and then we're gonna bring the right hand up onto the thigh. Take a little rotation here. And then from here, we'll release that twist. Standing up on your left knee, walk your right foot out, just fold over that front leg. A couple breaths here. And again, we're not super warm yet, so we're just going to ease into these stretches. Go ahead and shift your weight back onto that front foot. Pull your left foot next to the right foot, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, rise to stand. Exhale, cactus in your arms. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, go ahead and release and fold all the way down to the mat. Stepping your right foot to the back of the mat. And then stepping your left foot to the back of the mat as we make our way into our first plank position. Go ahead and bring your knees down to the mat. And then from here, we're gonna do a couple of rounds of bear pose. So we're just going to start to engage the core and lift the knees a couple inches off the mat. So hands, your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. You're gonna tuck your toes and just lift the knees a couple inches off the mat. Feel the strength of your core here. This is not easy. It's not supposed to be. Take another breath. And then exhale, release knees, come back to the mat. Tuck the toes. Again, lift them up. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees to the mat. We're just gonna do that one more time, and then it'll be over. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees. Extend your left leg, extend your right arm. Spinal balance. Breathe. I know you're breathing. Breathe mindfully, rather. Take another breath, and then we'll release that hand, or release your other knee, Windy. We're gonna extend left arm, right leg. Deep breaths, controlled, regulated breaths. Releasing your left hand, your right knee, back to the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna extend the left, go ahead and take your left leg, bend it, and we're just gonna point the sole of our face, the sole of our foot toward the ceiling. And you're just gonna pulsate here like you are trying to stamp the ceiling. The hips are staying very level. We're just pushing that left foot up toward the ceiling. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulling your knee toward your nose, round your upper back, cat pose, and then release that knee, extend your spine into cow pose. All right, from here, so cow pose, we tilt the head and tailbone toward the ceiling, kind of dropping the belly toward the mat in a back extension, opposite of that cat position. All right, taking your right foot toward the ceiling, bend your right knee to 90 degrees, and then we're just gonna start to pulse here. So we wanna fire up those glutes, creating balance. Again, the hamstrings get tight, the glutes get weak when we sit all day. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold and then pull it all the way through. Knee comes toward your nose. Round your upper back like a cat. Good. Then release your knee to the mat. Inhale. Come into cow pose. Tuck your toes. Lift those knees just a couple inches off the mat. And then press your heels all the way back into downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet here. One at a time. Inhale, shifting forward, make your way into plank position. Drop to the knees if you need to. Don't if you don't. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Bring your left forearm in line with the front of the mat. Grab your right foot with your right hand for a quad stretch. Like I said, if you're having a hard time reaching that foot, this is where you want to grab a strap or something that will allow your arms to be a little bit longer. You can use a towel or really anything that you can help you grab. Or sometimes just bending that knee, you'll feel plenty of stretch through your quads. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Just bend your leg. Take a couple of breaths. Try to settle into that pose. If you squeeze your glutes a little bit, it will make your quads longer. So that will make that stretch a little bit more intense. Go ahead and release. Let that one go. Bring your right forearm in line with the front of the mat. Reach back. Grab your left foot with your left hand. Again, squeeze those glutes. Make the quads strong. Take a couple breaths. And release. Bring your hands back to the mat. Tuck your toes. We're going to press up and back into downward facing dog. Go through a push-up if you can, with the knees or without. Then we make our way back to plank. All right. Inhale, shift forward, make your way to plank position. Exhale, lower down half or all the way. This time we're going to inhale, rise up into a traditional cobra pose. Remember, you don't have to extend your arms all the way here. That's a common mistake that I see people make. Squeeze your glutes to protect your low back. And then through the knees, press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Let's exhale. Again, make your way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. Don't pause this time. Make your way straight back into downward facing dog. Let's take one more shift forward plank. Exhale, make your way down. Inhale, rise up. And then press it back. Downward facing dog. All right, let's shift forward one more time. Make your way down to your knees. Come back into your tabletop position. All right, so I said we were going to work quads quite a bit today. So you're going to come back and bend. You're going to bend your left knee, and then we're going to take our right hand. So same thing as our extension. I want you to reach your right hand around. See if you can grab your left foot with your right hand. Just see how it goes. It's okay if you don't reach it. Use your strap if you want to. Take another breath. And then just release. Bring your left knee, right hand back to the mat. Extend your right leg, left arm. Bend your right knee. Reach around. See if you can grab that foot with your hand. So this is opening up through the chest, opening up through the quads. Push your hands into your foot into your hand. Go ahead and release. Let that go. Tuck your toes. Rise up and back. Downward facing dog. Stepping your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, raise them up. Let's exhale, swan dive down, fold forward. Bring your hands to the outer edges of the mat. We're going to step your right foot to the back of the mat. Rise up, high lunge. That left knee in the front should be around 90 degrees, if possible. Palms facing each other, shoulders relaxed. Maybe a little smile on the face. Bring your left hand to your hip. Right arm's going to reach across the midline of the body. Big side stretch. One more breath here. And from here, we'll release our right hand to the mat. Your left hand's gonna stay on your thigh just to press into that twist. And then when you're ready, maybe release your hand. Releasing your left hand back to the mat. Go ahead and step your right foot forward. Come back into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise to stand. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, swan dive down, folding forward. Hands come to the outer edges of the mat again. Left leg steps back this time. When you're ready, rise up into that high lunge. Settle into the pose, relax the shoulders. It's a mixture between strength and relaxation in these poses. We want to be strong where we need to be and relaxed where we don't. So often we find ourselves in our workday, or I find myself anyway, clenching, like my shoulders. Bring your right hand to your hip. Left arm's going to come across the midline. You clench the jaw. Just wasting our energy. Take another breath. Yoga teaches us to be present, to scan, to relax. Bring your left hand to your floor, to the floor. Your right hand, I guess it is your floor, to your thigh. Press into that thigh to twist and rotate. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, release that hand. Extend up toward the ceiling. Take another breath. Exhale. Release your right hand to the floor. Step your left foot next to your right foot. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, rise to stand. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, swan dive them back down, fold forward. All right, from here, we're gonna step that right foot back, making our way into a lunge. Inhale, rise up. Take your left hand to your left hip, reach across the body, moving through it a little faster this time. Take your right hand to the mat. Rotate, twist. All right, we're gonna get a little tricky here. You're gonna bring your left hand to the mat. We're gonna load on the left foot, extend the right foot straight back. Now, if you have a pillow, this is just a yoga pillow here that I have. Any pillow, block, anything, if you need to stack something under your hands, go for it. Take a breath. Maybe start to tilt. Bring your right foot higher toward the ceiling to intensify that stretch through the left leg. All right, go ahead and level it out. Make your right leg parallel to the floor here. So we're gonna go ahead and create sort of an L-shaped position with the legs if possible. Bend your left knee as well as if you need to. And then bend that right leg, pulse up toward the ceiling. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and extend your left arm. Now we're a little wobbly. Release your left hand, release your right foot. Fold deeply. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, halfway down, cactus your arms. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, swan dive down, fold forward. Take your left foot to the back of the mat. From here, we rise up into high lunge on the other side. So standing on one foot, if this is your first yoga class, it's very difficult and too much. Just don't feel like you have to do that. Watch where you need to and join back in where you feel comfortable with the postures. Bring your right hand to your hip, reach across the midline. Drop your left hand to the mat or to your block. Twist and open. Release your right hand to the floor. From here, we're going to start to load, extend that left foot. Then tilt, maybe lifting your left foot higher toward the ceiling. Good. And again, if your hamstrings are real tight, you want to bend this right leg. Prop yourself up on blocks, whatever you need. Go ahead and level your left leg back so that it's parallel with the floor. Bend your knee, and then we pulse. Keep going. Strong through the glutes. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your left foot next to your right foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I missed our extension. Go ahead and come back into that position. Extend. Reach your right arm out as our next progression. Or leave it out. Release. Bring your hand, bring your foot to the floor. Inhale, we rise. Good. Let's come halfway down. Inhale, lift. We're going to go through that one more time. We're going to add one more thing. Hands come to the outer edges of your feet. Step your right foot back. Rise up. High lunge. Left hand comes to your hip. Reach across. Right hand's going to release to the floor. Twist, rotate. Deep breath in. Release that left hand. Load on your front leg. Extend your other leg straight back. Bend your leg. See if you can reach around. Grab your foot with the opposite hand. Or don't. Again, I know this is a challenging pose, and if it feels like it's too much, just do what feels right. Stop at that last progression where you feel like you're gaining strength, mobility, not putting anything at risk. Release, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. This is our last trip through this sequence. Left foot's going to come back, rise up, high lunge. We'll bring our right hand to the hip, reach across the midline. Release your left hand to the mat, twist. Rotate. And then from here, we're going to release that right hand to the mat, load on your front foot, last progression. If this feels like enough, stay here. You want to take it up a notch, extend your arm, reach it around, see if you can grab your foot with your hand. If you did it on your knee, you're probably able to do it on your foot. If you didn't, maybe don't try that one. Go ahead and release your foot, release your hand, fold deeply. All right, inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, let's bring our hands to heart center. All right, taking your right foot, cross it over the left. Sit back in your single leg chair. And again, if you need something to hold on to, you may want to have a chair, something to stabilize, move next to a wall. Go deeper if you want. Sit your hips back further to make this more intense if it feels like too much. Go ahead and rise back to center. Bring your right foot to the floor. You're going to step your other your other shin bone across your thigh. Sit your hips back. Single leg chair pose. And we breathe. Settle into the pose. Just a couple more breaths here. Letting those hips open. Inhale, we rise. Bring your feet a little bit wider than hips distance. If you're really about mat's distance, you want your feet to be about the distance if your mat was on the skinny edge. And then we're just going to drop down for a hip opener, sumo squat, bringing your weight from one side to the other. Come back to that, seeking your breath. Inhale, right foot, exhale, left foot. See if you can sink your breath with these movements. If this feels like too much, again, for the knees, come out of it. Make your squat less intense. All right, from here, turn on your mat. If you are not turned,
your microphone went down or something happened because we can barely hear you now.
Uh-oh.
I think it's working.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We good? Can you hear me now?
Yes, for me.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's make our way into downward facing dog. And then from here, we're just gonna lift our right leg up and back and then swing that shin bone all the way to the front of the mat for pigeon pose. Now, for your pigeon pose, if your knees are tender, your hips don't allow you to go into that full position, you can do this from seated, like so, or you can lay on your back and do the same thing, just wrap your hand around. All right, so take the variation that's gonna be most well-suited for whatever's going on with you today. Drop down to your forearms, perhaps, so you can come all the way down even deeper. And just let the body settle here. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable closing them. Feel the space you're creating through the hip. We made our glutes strong, I think, today. So now we're gonna just stretch them out a little bit. Take another couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, we'll come up onto the hands, rise up, and we'll swing that back leg around. Taking a seat. For a twist, you're gonna bring your right hand up, slide it in, tuck it in, and turn your gaze over your back shoulder. Untwist. Bring the hands back to the mat. Your left foot's gonna come back to the mat. Tuck your toe. Press your hips back, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Swing it through. Find pigeon pose. Bring your right knee back a little further if you can, and then drop down onto your forearms. And again, take those other variations if you need to. Come into seated or supine, pigeon pose. Just close your eyes, settle in. Notice how you feel. How's your body breathing? Go ahead and rise up. When you're ready, bring your right foot back around into your seated position. Your right hand's gonna come back behind you. Your left arm will lift and then tuck in there. Pressing your tricep against your thigh and your thigh against your triceps for that deep spinal rotation. Release. Go ahead and extend your legs, scoot yourself on the mat so that when you lay down, you will be all the way on your mat. When you're ready, taking your time, release yourself all the way down onto your back. Extend your legs here, letting your feet just gently separate, letting your palms roll up to face the ceiling, letting your eyes gently close, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, your shoulders, the arms all the way down through your fingertips. Scanning for tension, releasing it where you can. The shoulders down through the upper and middle part of your back, down through your hips, and the legs all the way out through the feet and toes. Letting the body breathe on its own now. Been regulating the breath for most of class, controlling it. I'll just let it breathe. If you can get really curious and engaged with the rise and fall of your belly. Keeping the attention focused here for just a little bit. Taking about 3 more rounds of breath here. And just on your own, scanning from the crown of your head all the way down through your feet. Noticing where you could release tension. We'll close our class here in this relaxation pose with a big, deep breath and a sigh. Go ahead and breathe in, fill up your lungs, feel your belly rise. Exhale, let go a big audible sigh. You can stay here a little bit longer. I highly recommend it. Just let your body relax. If you are moving back into your work day with me, go ahead and make your way over to side lying position and then rise on up to take a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today. We did some pretty challenging poses. I'd love to know how you felt about those, if you don't mind. If it was too difficult, too easy. Always trying to figure out how to make this class for everybody, especially since I can't see most of you. So thank you again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.